वेरी गुड इवनिंग टू ऑल ऑफ यू। कैसे हैं सब लोग? भूमिका, राजीव, सुशील, दर्शन, कोमल, दिव्यांशी, रुशिता, मिसेस सैयद, फरा सैयद. Very good evening to all. And let me start the today topic. And again, the last part, invoice accounts and records. Ka last part, credit note we will start, and then we'll move to the E-way bill. So Diksha, Sudhanshu, Aisa, Safa, Sayyed. Very good evening. Okay. So what is the debit note? What is the credit note? We need to discuss. In the debit credit note, one thing always remember, the debit credit note can only be issued by the supplier in the GST. If we are talking about the GST debit note or GST credit note, it can only be issued by the supplier. The reason is the language of section 34. Okay. So what is the section 34? Where one or more tax invoice have been issued, okay, for supply of the goods or services or both, and the taxable value or the tax charge is found to exceed the taxable value, reason number 1, or found to exceed the tax payable, reason number 2, or where the goods supplied are returned, reason number 3, and the goods or services are found to be deficit, reason number 4. That's it. In the GST, the credit note can be issued only in the 4 circumstances: exceed the taxable value, exceed the tax, goods or services found to be deficit, or goods are returned. In that case, the credit note can be issued by the supplier. Now the point is, suppose during the financial year, we have issued 100 tax invoice. Can we issue single credit note for all the 100 tax invoice because of any reason? Let's say I need to give the turnover discount. The answer would be yes. 1-to-1 correlation. 1-to-1 correlation. What is the meaning of this? That for each tax invoice, there has to be the one credit note. That concept has been abolished. The word one or more tax invoice, it means you have the multiple tax invoice, you can issue one credit note. Vice versa, if you have the one tax invoice for which you like to issue the multiple credit note, answer is yes, that is also possible. For one tax invoice, I can issue the more credit note. For more tax invoice, I can issue the one or more credit note. It means there is possibility that for one tax invoice, there would be 3 credit note, or for 3 tax invoice, there would be 1 credit note, or for 1 tax invoice, there could be 1 credit note. Every permutation combination is possible. यहां तक बात क्लियर है? एक बार कंफर्म करें, प्लीज कंफर्म दैट टिल नाउ इट इज क्लियर. मैं बढ़िया हूं कविता लामसाल बेटा. आई एम वेरी गुड. आई होप यू ऑल आर गुड. रुशिता, दिव्यांशी, कविता, दर्शन, दीक्षिता, एवरीवन, हीरा हुसैन, सुधांशु शेखर, वेरी गुड इवनिंग टू ऑल ऑफ यू. टुडे इज माय लास्ट क्लास. इस बैच के लिए ये आज का क्लास मेरा लास्ट है. ठीक है, तो यहां तक बात क्लियर है, राइट? चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं. नाउ वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज द टाइम लिमिट टू इश्यू द क्रेडिट नोट. What is the time limit to issue the credit note? What is the time limit to issue the credit note? Section 34 subsection 2 talks about that a registered person who issue the credit note in relation to supply shall declare, it means the declaration, whether 34.2 is talking about issuance or declaration. एक बार बात मुझे कंफर्म कीजिए, 34.2 लास्ट डेट की बात करता है 30th November और annual return whichever is earlier. We will read in detail, but please type and tell me 34.2 is not talking about issuance. It is talking about declaration. Versa, yes, absolutely correct. No problem. What are the debit? अभी नेक्स्ट बात करेंगे, पहले क्रेडिट नोट क्लोज कर लेते हैं, फिर डेबिट नोट की बात करेंगे. So 34.2 is talking about last date to issue the credit note. No, sir. It is talking about last date to declare the credit note. What is the last date? 30th November, following the end of the financial year, or furnishing of annual return, whichever is earlier. So meaning thereby, can I issue the credit note on 30th November 2023? Let's say we are talking about financial year 22-23. For which goods has been written on 30th November. Let's say I have sold the goods in the financial year 22-23. Let's say goods has been returned before 30th November. My question is, can I issue the credit note to my customer, GST credit note, on 30th November by charging the GST? Can I issue the credit note by charging the GST on 30th November? The answer would be no. Answer would be no. See, if I like to talk about declaration, if I like to talk about the declaration means that in the GST return, where I have to declare declaration in the GST credit, in the GST returns. I mean to say that I have to report by 30th November. So it would be max to max, late to late, it would be the GST return of October. जो मैं नवंबर में रिटर्न फाइल करूंगा वो कौन से मंथ का होगा? ऑब्वियसली अक्टूबर का होगा ना, ऑब्वियसली अक्टूबर का होगा. Am I right? If the return is of October, which I am furnishing in the November, and the 34.2 is talking about declaration, so it means, in other word, indirectly I can say जो क्रेडिट नोट का डेट होगा वो मैक्स टू मैक्स 31st अक्टूबर होगा, जिसको हम डिक्लेयर करेंगे नवंबर के रिटर्न में. नवंबर नहीं, अक्टूबर के रिटर्न में जो मैं नवंबर में फर्निश करूंगा. ध्यान रखना, एक बार वापस रिपीट करता हूं, 34.2 इज टॉकिंग अबाउट डिक्लेरेशन नवंबर तक. और अगर मैं कोई चीज नवंबर में डिक्लेयर करूंगा तो उस डॉक्यूमेंट का डेट क्या होगा? ऑब्वियसली अक्टूबर होगा. भाई अक्टूबर की डिटेल्स को मैं नवंबर में डिक्लेयर करता हूं. एम आई राइट? लेट टू लेट आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट अक्टूबर का डिटेल्स आई एम रिपोर्टिंग इन द मंथ ऑफ नवंबर रिटर्न. इन द मंथ ऑफ नवंबर द रिटर्न विच पर्टेन टू अक्टूबर. तो अक्टूबर का रिटर्न जो नवंबर में फर्निश करना है, आई हैव टू डिक्लेयर इन दैट रिटर्न. It means the date of the document can be 31st October max to max. ये बात क्लियर हुआ? Is it clear? So, can I issue the GST credit note on 30th November? Answer would be no, because 30th November is not the issuance date. It is the declaration date. यहां तक बात क्लियर है? एक बार कंफर्म करो, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. क्लियर है ना या नहीं? मुझे वापस रिपीट करें, कंफर्म करें. इज इट क्लियर टू ऑल? that supply in November 30 would be declared in the subsequent November 30. Question is not clear. Darshan, question is not clear. Redraft. Supply instead of a particular date, take the financial year. And take the financial year and also write the year along with the date. Please write the year. 22 की बात करें, 23 की बात करें, 24 की बात करें. Write the year also. हाँ सोहेल, मोहम्मद सोहेल, डेफिनेटली हम 100% सुटेबल होगा. 100% सुटेबल होगा. थोड़ा बहुत जो चेंजेस होगा वो बाद में आगे पढ़ लेना. Issuance of the credit note can be done anytime after declaration. So मोहम्मद, declare कब करोगे? जब आप इश्यू करोगे तब डिक्लेयर करोगे ना. डिक्लेरेशन का मतलब क्या? डिक्लेरेशन इन द रिटर्न. डिक्लेरेशन का मतलब क्या? डिक्लेरेशन इन द रिटर्न. और डिक्लेरेशन आप किस चीज का करोगे? जो डॉक्यूमेंट ऑलरेडी इश्यू कर चुके हैं. इश्यू पहले आएगा कि डिक्लेरेशन पहले आएगा? ऑब्वियसली इश्यू, बिकॉज यू विल इश्यू द डॉक्यूमेंट एंड देन यू विल डिक्लेयर इन द रिटर्न. सो इफ यू हैव डिक्लेयर मतलब इसका मतलब इश्यू ऑलरेडी कर चुके हो. सुशील, क्रेडिट नोट मैं कब इश्यू करूंगा मुझे बताओ. क्रेडिट नोट 4 सर्कमस्टांसेस में करूंगा. मैंने आपको ऑलरेडी सेल किया, ठीक है. नाउ यू हैव रिटर्न, और मैंने टैक्सेबल वैल्यू एक्स्ट्रा चार्ज किया, और मैंने टैक्स एक्स्ट्रा चार्ज किया. लेट्स से मुझे 1 लाख करना था, मैंने 1,10,000 कर दिया. तो जो रिड्यूस करना है ना वैल्यू, दैट इज टू बी रिड्यूस्ड बाय क्रेडिट नोट. ठीक है, ये बात मुझे समझ में आ गई. 4 सर्कमस्टांसेस जो हम ऑलरेडी पढ़ चुके हैं. अब मुझे लास्ट डेट क्या है? तो इसने बोला कि डिक्लेरेशन का लास्ट डेट है, इश्यूएंस का लास्ट डेट हमने नहीं रखा. तो ऑब्वियसली इश्यू तो पहले ही करूंगा तभी मैं डिक्लेयर करूंगा, राइट? देन देयरफॉर द लास्ट डेट टू डिक्लेयर इज 30th November और एनुअल रिटर्न व्हिचएवर इज अर्लियर. तो अगर मैं कोई चीज डिक्लेयर करूंगा तो वो डिक्लेयर लेट टू लेट कब करूंगा? नवंबर तक करूंगा मैं. तो अगर मैं लास्ट पॉसिबिलिटी की बात करूं, ये अक्टूबर मंथ का रिटर्न होगा. सुशील, ये अक्टूबर मंथ का रिटर्न होगा ना, जिसको मैं फाइल करूंगा नवंबर में. तो द लास्ट डेट टू डिक्लेयर द क्रेडिट नोट इज 30th November. मतलब लास्ट डेट टू इश्यू द क्रेडिट नोट विल बी 31st October. नहीं 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 नहीं, गलत समझ रहे हो, गलत समझ रहे हो दर्शन. कोई भी एक क्रेडिट नोट ले लो, लास्ट डे ऑफ डिक्लेयरिंग द क्रेडिट नोट ऑफ November 30. नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है. लेट्स रीड द लैंग्वेज वंस अगेन. A registered person who issue the credit note in relation to the supply. ठीक है. सो मैंने कोई भी क्रेडिट नोट इशू किया, ठीक है, shall declare the credit note in the return for the month during which such credit note has been issued. तो ये रियल टाइम की बात करता है, बट नॉट लेटर देन 30th November फॉलोइंग द एंड ऑफ द फाइनेंशियल ईयर. कौन सा फाइनेंशियल ईयर? इन विच योर सप्लाई वाज मेड. इट मींस आई हैव सोल्ड द गुड्स टू यू इन द फाइनेंशियल ईयर 22-23. तो मैंने सप्लाई कब किया? फाइनेंशियल ईयर 22. ओरिजिनल सप्लाई की बात कर रहा है, इनवॉइस की बात कर रहा है, जिसके अगेंस्ट में मैं क्रेडिट नोट इशू करूंगा. तो अगर मेरी सप्लाई 22-23 की है, ठीक है, देन the following the end of the financial year till 30th November I can declare the credit note till 30th November. तो मैंने क्रेडिट नोट जब भी इश्यू किया है, आई हैव टू इश्यू कौन से सप्लाई के अगेंस्ट में? सी, क्रेडिट नोट विल बी इशूड अगेंस्ट एनी सप्लाई. क्रेडिट नोट विल बी इशूड अगेंस्ट एनी सप्लाई. तो वो सप्लाई कौन से ईयर की है? लेट्स से फाइनेंशियल ईयर 22-23 की. तो इसका क्रेडिट नोट आप सेम टाइम पर डिक्लेयर करोगे, या मैक्सिमम आप 30 नवंबर एनुअल फाइनेंशियल ईयर खत्म होने के बाद जो 30 नवंबर आता है तब तक डिक्लेयर करोगे, या एनुअल रिटर्न व्हिचएवर इज अर्लियर. ठीक है, आगे बढ़ते हैं. सो कब भूमिका सिंह, फर्स्ट वी विल इशू द इनवॉइस सप्लाई. उसके अगेंस्ट में 4 सर्कमस्टांसेस में जो भी सर्कमस्टांसेस फर्क हुआ, इनवॉइस का वैल्यू ज्यादा था, ठीक है, टैक्स ज्यादा चार्ज कर दिया, या मेरा गुड्स वापस आ गया, या मेरी गुड्स और सर्विस की क्वालिटी डेफिशिएंट है, इन 4 सर्कमस्टांसेस आई विल इश्यू द क्रेडिट नोट। अब ये क्रेडिट नोट को डिक्लेयर कब करूंगा? टिल 30th नवंबर। 30th नवंबर कौन सा नवंबर? जिस साल में आपने सप्लाई की थी, उस साल के खत्म होने के बाद में जो 30 नवंबर आएगा, तब तक आप उस सप्लाई से रिलेटेड कोई क्रेडिट नोट डिक्लेयर कर सकते हो। इज इट क्लियर? भूमिका, दर्शन, सुशील? हाँ दीक्षा, दीक्षा बिल्कुल ठीक है। सिमिलरली द डेबिट नोट, सिमिलरली द डेबिट नोट, एक बार क्विकली कंफर्म करना, सुशील, भूमिका, दर्शन। Similarly, the debit note. So, one or more tax invoice have been issued for supply and either taxable value or tax have been charged less. मुझे invoice raise करना था 1 lakh का, but I have raised the invoice of 90,000. 10 का short raise किया, right? So now I will raise the debt note for 10,000. ठीक है, लेस देन टैक्सेबल वैल्यू और टैक्स, या मुझे रेट 18% चार्ज करना था, बट मैंने चार्ज किया 12%, तो रेट कम चार्ज कर दिया मैंने जब आपको सेल किया। आई विल रेज द डेबिट नोट फॉर ओनली द टैक्स पार्ट। अगेन द टाइम लिमिट, देयर विल बी नो टाइम लिमिट। व्हाई देयर वुड बी नो टाइम लिमिट? व्हाई देयर वुड बी नो टाइम लिमिट? बिकॉज मैंने टैक्स कम पे किया, पहले मैंने वैल्यू कम डिक्लेयर की, अब तो मुझे गवर्नमेंट को टैक्स पे करना एक्स्ट्रा। The reason of the debit note, either taxable value or the tax has been charged less. So when I will issue the debit note, when supplier will issue the debit note, the liability would increase, right? The tax liability would increase. अगर वो tax liability increase होती है, अगर कोई tax liability increase होती है, in that case there would be no last date, क्योंकि जैसे ही आप लेट करोगे आपके ऊपर इंटरेस्ट की लाइबिलिटी भी आएगी। गवर्नमेंट ऐसा थोड़ी कहेगी कि अगर आपने नवंबर तक डिक्लेयर नहीं किया वो डेबिट नोट, तो आपको कभी डिक्लेयर करने की रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं है, यू आर नॉट रिक्वायर्ड टू पे द टैक्स। विल द गवर्नमेंट विल से लाइक दिस? आंसर इज नो, बिकॉज इन द डेबिट नोट वी आर पेइंग द टैक्सेस टू द गवर्नमेंट, देयरफॉर देयर वुड बी नो लास्ट डेट। अगर आप लेट डिक्लेयर करते हो, यू हैव टू पे द इंटरेस्ट। then it would be 30th November for financial year 20. Yes, I said date of declaration का last date है, right? Mohammed, can I issue the credit note for which has been made in the previous year any previous year earlier? सिर्फ लास्ट ईयर का तो मैं इशू कर सकता हूँ, लास्ट टू लास्ट ईयर का तो इशू ही नहीं कर सकता ना, लास्ट डेट जा चुकी है। एक साल के बाद जो नवंबर आएगा वो लास्ट डेट है। Can I issue the credit note for the supply which has been made in previous year earlier? Answer would be no, Mohammed. Reason, there is a last date that after the end of the financial year I can issue till 30th November. So you cannot go back earlier to the previous year. Max to max I can issue the credit note for the past year only, and that to be till 30th November. Okay. अगर दिव्यांशी का क्वेश्चन रीड कर रहा हूं मैं, अगर सप्लाई फॉर 20 to 20 क्रेडिट नोट नवंबर में डिक्लेयर होगा, यस तक डिक्लेयर होगा, टिल इट विल बी डिक्लेयर्ड इन 30th November. सो इश्यू कब तक करना पड़ेगा? यू हैव टू इश्यू बाय अक्टूबर मैक्स टू मैक्स। एब्सोल्युटली राइट सुशील, आपकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग बिल्कुल करेक्ट है। मोहम्मद, काइंडली कंफर्म, इज इट क्लियर टू यू? योर क्वेरी हैज बीन रिजॉल्व्ड? Yes, you read the statutory update now. So the book along institute ka material you have to read along with this statutory update. So if you see the statutory update, there would be the 30th November. चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं. So there is a section 32, prohibition of unauthorized collection of tax. The person who is not registered is not collect the tax. or no registered person shall collect the tax except in accordance with the provision of the GST law. Section 33, which talks about amount of the tax to be indicated in the tax invoice, and every other document you have to indicate the tax amount. Okay. Now let's move to the very important part, that is E-way bill. Very important part, that is E-way bill. Now in the E-way bill, what do you understand by E-way bill? So E-way bill means a document which is required. E-way bill means a document which is required for the transportation of goods. Section 68, inspection of the goods in movement. It's talk about the government may require the person in charge of the conveyance. So driver, let's say, carrying the goods of the value exceeding 50,000 shall carry such document and such device as may be prescribed. The document can be tax invoice, document can be delivery challan, document can be bill of supply, document can be bill of entry, as may be prescribed. The details of the document shall be validated in such manner as may be prescribed. So the officer will have the power to validate. Where any conveyance is intercepted by the GST proper officer at any place, he may require the person in charge of that conveyance to produce the document and the device for verification. So it is the responsibility of the person in charge of the conveyance, driver, that he has to produce the document. It can be any document, and devices, which we will discuss in the respective rules, for the purpose of verification, and the said person shall be liable to produce the document and allow the inspection of the goods. For this, we have to read the following rules one by one. Now, rule 138, it will take 1 hour approx. It will take absolutely 1 hour, 1.5 hours. Rule 138, that is the entire topic of the E-way bill. So in the E-way bill, every registered person who causes the movement of goods, every registered person who causes the movement of goods exceeding 50,000, every registered person. So what we are discussing, E-way bill. When E-way bill is required, if the value exceeds 50,000. What is the reason for movement of the goods? There are 3 reasons specified. In relation to supply, let's say A is selling the goods to B. So there is a movement, E-way bill is required. For reason other than supply, let's say I'm sending the goods to my job worker. I am sending the goods to my job worker for repair. Is it a supply? No, it is not a supply. I'm sending the goods to repair center for the repair, for stitching to my job worker. Is it a supply? No, sir. It is a reason other than supply, but there would be movement of the goods, and due to the inverse supply from unregistered. So when goods are being sold from unregistered to registered, it is the responsibility of the recipient to make the E-way bill. What I'm talking about? I am talking that what is the value? 50,000. If the value exceeds 50, need to generate the E-way bill. What are the reason of E-way bill? Supply, other than supply, and due to the inverse supply from unregistered supplier. There could be the 3 reasons, and E-way bill has to be generated. E-way bill has to be generated before commencement. Before commencement. So in the E-way bill, there would be 2 parts. There would be 2 parts, part A and part B. There would be 2 parts, part A and part B. What is the meaning of E-way bill? E-way bill means when you generate both part A plus part B. When you generate both part A and part B, let me show you the one sample format of the E-way bill. I hope you are able to see the screen. This is the E-way bill, and this is the part A, outward, inward, document number, transaction type, bill from, dispatch from, bill to, ship to. You are writing the tax part, total value, and here the part A is completed, and from here the part B is started. That is the E-way bill. So part A and part B both has to be generated prior to the movement of the goods. What are the parameter? What are the content? It is nothing but like a tax invoice. All the content of the document, document number, document date, basic value, taxable value, tax, total value, कितना distance है, bill from, dispatch from, bill to, ship to, ठीक है, reason of movement, ठीक है, transaction type. So that all will be added, and then also by part B. What is the part B? Mode. Is it a regular cargo or ODC cargo? What is the meaning? We will discuss in sub rule 10. Then vehicle number, and once you click and submit, then it is an E-way bill. So E-way bill means part A plus part B both, then it is called as E-way bill. So part A plus part B on the common. See, now the second point. Suppose part B can be generated. Let me repeat once again. So before commencement of the goods, before commencement of such movement, furnish the information in the part A electronically on the common portal, and a unique number will be generated on the said portal. Okay? Let's move further. The transporter on authorization may furnish the information in the part A, and e-commerce operator or courier company, e-commerce operator or courier agency on an authorization received from the consignor, the information in the part A may be furnished by such e-commerce operator or courier agency, and a unique number will be generated on the said portal. So these are the requirement. So part A, part B, both has to be generated. That always remember. But part A can be generated even by the transporter or by e-commerce operator or by courier company. Now, we are talking about situation where E-way bill is mandatory even for the value less than 50,000. So just now we have discussed, if the invoice ka value exceed 50,000, then I have to generate the E-way bill. Yes, but there are two circumstances in which E-way bill is mandatory even for the value less than 50,000 or less than equal to 50,000. First is if you are sending the goods interstate to your job worker. If you are sending the goods interstate from the principal to the job worker in any other state, E-way bill shall be generated either by the principal or job worker if registered, irrespective of consignment value. Now the second thing, which we have already discussed in the registration chapter. क्या point पढ़ा था? याद है? Casual taxable person, notified handicraft, notified goods, handicraft goods and notified goods. Who are engaged in that notified goods or casual taxable person involved in the handicraft goods, there is no mandatory registration till 20 lakh or whatever the case may be. We have discussed in the registration chapter that casual taxable person who are engaged in the handicraft goods or other notified category of the goods, then they are not required mandatory registration. But there is one mandatory requirement that to generate the e-way bill. Now, see, recall that registration ka requirement, registration chapter ka relaxation, and the same thing they have repeated here, that in case where the handicraft goods are being transported, okay, interstate, and who has been exempted from registration under section 24, e-way bill shall be generated irrespective of consignment value. Now the explanation 1 talks about one notification in which the list of handicraft goods is being given. Explanation 2 talks about that what is the meaning of e-way bill. Now please read the explanation. Please read the explanation, what is included and what is excluded, and then kindly give me the answer for question number 1 and question number 2. If my taxable value is 48,000 and tax is 4,000, the total invoice value is 52,000. So first tell me whether I am required to take or whether I'm required to generate e-way bill for the situation number 1. Give me the answer. Electronic. E-way bill would be electronic form, no physical. So the answer, it can be inter or it can be intra. If there is a movement of the goods, e-way bill would be required. But for the purpose of within the state, the respective SGST rule will prevail. Respective SGST rule will prevail. Suppose, like if I talk about the example of Delhi. So Delhi talks that if within the state, the movement is up to 1 lakh, no requirement of generation of e-way bill. So regarding the within the state movement, we have to check all the SGST rule 138. So effectively, if there is no separate limit, I can say the limit of the 50,000 would applicable. The answer is you have to issue the e-way bill because the consignment value, which is inclusive of tax. Read, what is the meaning of consignment value? Consignment means the value declared in the invoice or below the supplier, the delivery challan, and include GST. So in my current example, current question, if my taxable value is 48,000 and tax is 4,000, so including taxes, it is exceeding 50, answer would be mandatory e-way bill. Let's talk about second example. If I have the taxable value 48,000 and tax is 4,000. The total invoice value 50, but this taxable value include the exempted item of rupees 10,000. This taxable value include the exempted item of 10,000. Now please give the answer. My invoice value is 50. Do I need to generate the mandatory e-way bill? Do I need to generate the mandatory e-way bill in this case? Right, Aisha? The answer would be no e-way bill is required because the explanation 2 is clearly saying that it will add the taxes, but it will not include, or rather I should say exclude the value of the exempt supply. In my given question, 38,000 is the taxable value for the taxable supply and plus 4,000. So the total is 42,000 plus 10,000 is the value of the exempted item. It will not be counted. Consignment value is 42, which is less than 50, not required to generate the E-way bill mandatorily. यहाँ तक बात क्लियर है, एक बार कंफर्म करें. Any question? Any question so far? Sudhanshu, sir, transportation number should be inter or inter. I hope it is clear. Sudhanshu, beta confirm karo. Kavita, on regard of the person, on regards of person is carrying this E-way bill or not. Who checked this E-way bill? In transit GST officer. So let's say I am moving the goods from Delhi to Rajasthan. So in between, there would be GST officer who can stop the vehicle and check the goods, check the document, check the E-way bill. So in transit, there would be the GST officer who will detain the vehicle if you are not getting the proper document. And Darshan, E-way bill is held by the transporter in electronic. Acha, by the, see, it will be generated by the electronically government portal. But after that, he can carry the E-way bill in the physical, like printout, or he can keep the soft copy as well. Whatever it will, we will discuss. There is a provision of 138A, B, C, D, E. Then we will be able to understand with more clarity. It's clear. Susil, question number, no sir, because tonight it's through, it's exceed 50, it has exempted. Correct. Am I right? You are right. Any limit of Madhav Tiwari, we were talking about interstate E-way bill ka requirement is more than 50,000. If you are moving the goods from one state to the another, it is 50,000. There may be the separate limit by the state, which is not relevant for your exam. For your exam, we have to check the interstate invoice value. For intra, there may be the different limit by Delhi, there may be the different limit by Rajasthan, there may be the different limit by Bihar, Maharashtra. Har state ka within the state ka movement ka limit can be different. Sudhanshu, part B में खाली vehicle का number डालना है. What is the part B? In the part B, we have to select mode. And then we have to select the vehicle type and vehicle number. That's it. किस ट्रक से मूव कर रहे हो गुड्स, उस ट्रक का नंबर डालना है. ट्रक का है या बाय रोड है या बाय रेल है या बाय एयर है, you have to mention that. Madhav Tiwari and Sudhanshu, is it clear? सुशील, आई होप बेटा क्लियर है. अभी तक और कोई डाउट डिस्कस कर लेना, ताकि आप लास्ट जो हम डिस्कशन करें ना 15 मिनट का 10 मिनट का क्विक राउंड द क्वेश्चन, आप सभी है ना करेक्ट पार्टिसिपेट करो यार. नाउ व्हेन द गुड्स आर ट्रांसपोर्टेड बाय द रजिस्टर्ड पर्सन, व्हेन द गुड्स आर ट्रांसपोर्टेड बाय द रजिस्टर्ड पर्सन एज कंसाइनर or the recipient of the supply as the consignee. Now, point to be noted, whether in his own conveyance or hired or even public conveyance by road. What danger hai? Do we need to generate the E-way bill even if we are moving the goods through public conveyance? Answer is yes. 138.2 is very, very clear. If you are registered either as a consignor or as a consignee, and you are moving the goods in his own or hired or even public, if it is by road, then it is the responsibility to generate the E-way bill. Now, till now we have understood that E-way bill should be generated prior to movement of the goods. Yes. Now, is there any situation wherein we are allowed to prepare the complete e-way bill after movement but before delivery. Try to understand. देखो अभी तक हमने जो डिस्कशन किया ना, वो हम बात कर रहे हैं कि ई-वे बिल मुझे मूवमेंट के पहले बनाना है, बिल्कुल क्लियर है. पार्ट ए एंड पार्ट बी दोनों ठीक बात है. नाउ वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट कोई ऐसा सिचुएशन जहां पर मैं ई-वे बिल बना सकता हूं आफ्टर द मूवमेंट बट बिफोर डिलीवरी. पॉइंट क्लियर है ना कि ई-वे बिल मूवमेंट के बाद भी बनाना अलाउड है मुझे? यस अलाउड है. कहां पर? अगर आपका मूवमेंट, इफ योर मूवमेंट इज बाय रेल, बाय एयर, बाय वेसल अदर देन रोड. ध्यान रखना, इसने बाय रेल कवर किया है, बाय एयर कवर किया, बाय वेसल कवर किया. इट मींस ट्रांसपोर्टेशन ऑफ गुड्स बाय रोड इन लाइक ट्रक एटसेट्रा इज नॉट कवर्ड. इन 3 सर्कमस्टांसेज में, रेलवे, एयर और वेसल, ई-वे बिल shall be generated being the supplier or the recipient. Now underline the word either before or after, either before or after the commencement. So there is a relaxation that instead of making the mandatory prior, you may be allowed to make the e-way bill after the movement. Now this clause says, the proviso says, if goods are transported by rail, then railway shall not deliver the goods unless e-way bill is produced at the time of delivery. Now there is an additional requirement in case of the railway. Yes, e-way bill has to be provided, has to be produced at the time of delivery. Now, अब हम बात करते हैं. Now we are talking about that we know that e-way bill has to be generated prior to the movement of the goods. Let's say I have the factory in the Delhi and I'm sending the goods to Rajasthan. Before moving the goods from my factory, I have to generate part A plus part B, both, and before commencement. Now I'm talking about, there is 2 relaxation. Wherein you can without generate, see, first I'm talking about first relaxation. In this, you are permitted to ignore the part B if all the conditions are satisfied. क्या मतलब? यहां पर पार्ट बी भरना अनिवार्य नहीं है अगर आप कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई करते हैं. कितनी कंडीशन? 3 कंडीशन. Condition: if the goods are being moved from your factory to the transporter place. What is my situation? I am registered in Delhi, sending the goods to Rajasthan. Value is 1 lakh. Do I need to generate the e-way bill prior to commencement of the movement? Answer is yes. But now I am talking about, is there a situation where part B cannot be filled as per the law? Try to understand one situation. If the 3 conditions are satisfied, see, I have the factory in Delhi. Let's say I am writing the location is ITO. I have to move the goods to Rajasthan. But before sending the goods to Rajasthan, my transporter is also at Delhi. Let's say I'm using the name CP Rajiv Chowk. First, I will send the goods to my transporter. Then At the end of the day, transporter will move the goods to ultimate location. This is the way. Now, prima facie, I can say the part A plus part B both has to be generated, both has to be detailed to be entered and generated before commencement. But there is one relaxation. What is that? If the goods are moving from your business place to the transporter place, state are same. किसका state? आपका business place का और transporter का. And third is distance is within 50 kilometers. If the three conditions are satisfied, then I can move the goods from Delhi to the transporter who is having within the same state and 50 kilometers. Then from Delhi to transporter business place, state are same within 50 kilometers. I can add part A, and without part B, I can send the goods. Suppose I need to send the goods from my place to directly Rajasthan to my customer place. My question to all of you, whether part B is mandatory or optional. Assume distance are within 50 kilometers. Build to ship to model, Divyanshi, there is a separate slide we will discuss over there. Who can issue e-way bill? Supplier or recipient or even transporter. Any party can generate the e-way bill. Madhav, transport the bike by railway. Can I generate the e-way bill? 100% yes. And you had to generate the e-way bill. You all are correct. You all are correct. But tell me one thing. You all are correct. But tell me one thing. Whether only one condition is not satisfied? How many conditions are not satisfied in this example? Which is my example? What is my example? Example is you are sending the goods from Delhi to Rajasthan directly customer. Distance is within 50 kilometers. You all are correct that part B is mandatory. But tell me one thing, that out of these three conditions, how many conditions are not satisfied? And as a result, you are saying the part B is mandatory. How many conditions are not satisfied in this example? So one condition is not satisfied, that is the state. Only one condition not satisfied. I am asking how many conditions are not satisfied? Muhammad, in between, I'm giving the reply to your question. So before commencement, you are not required to produce. But when the goods will be started, when the goods will be commenced, you will have the railway receipt. You have to enter. You have to enter that railway receipt number in the part B. You have to enter that railway receipt number in the part B and then generate the complete e-way bill. This complete e-way bill will be produced at the time of delivery. All are correct. That condition number one, that one condition that from one state to the another state, it is not satisfied because it is talking about same state. One more condition, that from your business place to the transporter place. Relaxation is only the movement of the goods from your place to the transporter place. But in this example, you are moving the goods directly to your customer. No relaxation. Let's say if it is even the same state, then also no relaxation, because there are the three conditions. Let me repeat all the three conditions. Movement should be from the business place to the transporter place. For further supply, next state should be same and movement distance should be 30 kilometers. Now the question comes, can I generate the part A without generating? Suppose I have filled the part A. Can I generate the E-way bill without putting the part B? That is important question. Suppose I have not generated the part B. I have not added the part B because of the relaxation which you talked about just now. Will I be able to generate the E-way bill? Answer would be prima facie no. Why no? Because if you are not adding the part B, listen carefully. If you are not adding the part B, then the transporter ID become mandatory. It means if I will fill the part B, then it is optional. Try to understand that if I will fill the part B, I am generating the E-way bill. I have the part A as well as part B. No problem. The transporter ID filled is optional. When it becomes mandatory, when you are taking the relaxation for movement to the transporter place, same state, 50 kilometers. So this transporter ID, now it become mandatory. What is the transporter ID? We will discuss. Transporter ID, basically, if you are not registered, would be given to unregistered transporter. किसको दिया जाएगा? अनरजिस्टर्ड. रजिस्टर्ड को? अरे सर रजिस्टर्ड है तो ऑलरेडी उसका जीएसटी नंबर. If anybody is registered transporter, he will put his GST number. The trans ID is, in case of the registered, it will be GST number. In case of the unregistered person, in that case, in case of the unregistered person, in case of unregistered person, go to the E-way bill website and put the sum detail. There is a form ENR01. Put the entire detail. Automatically 15-digit number would be assigned, but it doesn't mean that you are registered, you become registered. No, 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 sir. It is only number which is being used at this place. यहाँ तक clear है? Is it clear till now? एक बार confirm करें. जो भी क्वेश्चन है वो क्वेश्चन पूछिए मेरे से. Darshan, part A alone can be generated to avoid part B transfer. हाँ, right, right. क्लियर है ना अभी तक? कोई क्वेश्चन है तो बता दीजिए. Let me ask 2-3 question. Let me ask 2-3 question. Let me ask 2-3 question. Please tell me 2 circumstances in which credit note can be issued. Let me ask 2-3 question. Please tell me the 2 circumstances in which credit note can be issued. मैं सिर्फ 2 मिनट का क्विक रिवीजन, 2-3 क्वेश्चन पूछ के वापस डिस्कशन पे स्टार्ट कर दूंगा. 2-3 मिनट का क्वेश्चन पूछूंगा, then I will start back to the chapter. Transporter ID would be valid. There is no validity period. It will be remain valid lifelong. Is it possible only part will be not A? ऐसा नहीं होगा. Only part B can be generated, not part A. Is it? No. वर्षा ऐसा कभी नहीं होगा. Goods moved from the factory to the transporter place. Here transporter place means is the receiver of the goods. नहीं ट्रक वाला भाई गुड्स तो मूव कराओगे ना ट्रक के थ्रू. सो जो ट्रक वाले है उसका जो मेन लोकेशन है जहां पे आपको गुड्स भेजना है दैट इज लाइक इन माय सीपी. So what is my question? Tell me the two circumstances in which I am allowed to issue the credit note. Returns of the goods. Goods are deficient. Invoice value exceed taxable. Wow. Very nice. When the goods are returned, found to be deficit, taxable value exceed. बहुत बढ़िया. All are correct. Next question. What is the last date to issue the debit note? What is the last date to issue the debit note? What is the last date to issue the debit note? Next question. What is the last date to issue the debit note? What is the last date to issue the debit note? What is the last date to issue the debit note? What is the last date to issue the debit note? There is no last date for debit note because in the debit note you are paying the tax to the government. So government का भी last date थोड़ी रखेगी. Next question, tell me the two circumstances in which E-way bill is mandatory even for the value less than 50,000. Please tell me the two situations in which E-way bill is mandatory even for the value less than 50,000. वो दो circumstances जिसमें E-way bill mandatory है even for the value less than 50,000. Correct. Interstate sending the goods from the principal to the job worker and casual taxable person handicraft goods once exempted from registration. Yes. ठीक है. चलो सर आगे बढ़ते हैं. So please note the E-way bill not valid for movement if you have not filled the part B. Valid नहीं है E-way bill अगर आपने part B नहीं भरा. Except sub rule 3 and sub rule 5. We will discuss sub rule 5. For the purpose of this sub rule, where the goods are supplied by an unregistered to the recipient, the movement shall be said to be caused by the recipient if the recipient is known at the time of the commencement of the goods. We have already discussed. Now, sub rule 4 is very simple. Sub rule 4 is very simple. Upon generation of E-way bill on the common portal, unique E-way bill number shall be made available to all the stakeholders. Now, sub rule 5. So, suppose you are moving the goods from Delhi to Rajasthan. Okay. In between, you have generated part A plus part B both. In between, there is an accident. In the vehicle of Mr. A, met with an accident and the entire vehicle is got damaged. What happened? He has sent the another vehicle. So the vehicle number would be same or vehicle number would change. He has sent another vehicle. Now the goods would be loaded in this new vehicle and then the movement would start. So vehicle number change हो गया, same रहा. Will the vehicle number change or will it be same? Absolutely correct, Muhammad K. Absolutely correct. Because the vehicle number changed, then it says that you have to update. So now I'm using the word update. Update the details of the conveyance on the common portal in the part B. So whenever there is a change in the vehicle, you have to update the part B. Part B can be updated multiple times within the validity period. No problem. You like to change 10 times, it is possible. Within the validity period, you can update, but there is only one exception. 50 kilometer within the state from transporter business place to the ultimate consignee place. Now, what was my example? My example was that I have moved the goods from Delhi to my transporter. Let's say it is in CP. Transporter has to deliver the goods to Rajasthan. So first goods has been reached to Jaipur. It is also the transporter business place. Now the entire truck has been unloaded and it has been, the new small vehicle is being used to deliver the goods. So like, let's say goods are going to Chomu, goods are going to Jhotwada, some location near to Jaipur. So these are within 50 kilometers. State are same and goods are going from transporter place to the ultimate consignee place. Goods are going from the transporter place to the ultimate consignee place. Then 138(5) ka proviso says that no requirement of updation in part B, even though the vehicle has been changed. Let's read the language. Where the goods are transported up to 50 kilometers within the state from the transporter business place, finally to the consignee business place. The details of the conveyance may not be updated in the e-way bill. So what we have discussed at 138.3, we have discussed that when it is relaxed, not to add the part B. Now we are talking about update the part B. Any question? The transporter. Transporter will update the part B. Can you all please repeat and tell me in short, when the part B is not required to be added, part B कब मुझे ऐड नहीं करना है और कब मुझे अपडेट नहीं करना है? Please all are requested to give me the reply in short, that when the part B not required to be added. Second question, when the part B is not required to be updated, but please give the answer in short. बहुत बढ़िया. Very nice reply. Very nice reply from each and every participant. Okay. Almost all are clear. Great. Great. Now let's move further. 138.5a is simply talking about that who has furnished the part A or the transporter may assign the e-way bill to the another registered or enrolled transporter. So that is assignment is possible from one transporter to the another transporter. It is possible. Shall not be allowed to assign when who has furnished the information in the part A. So details of the conveyance has been updated by the transporter in part B. The consignor, the recipient who has furnished the information in the part A. So agar aapne part B fill kar diya, then you cannot assign. If suppose part B has been filled by the transporter, okay, then in that case, the consignor or consignee cannot assign the e-way bill to the another transporter. That is the only thing. So what is consolidated e-way bill? Now try to understand very important things. Let me explain you first. Let's say I have the tax invoice number 1. I have the tax invoice number 2. I have the tax invoice number 3. All the 3 goods invoice are going in same truck from Delhi to Jaipur. There are 3 shops in same location. So invoice number 1 is Mr. A, invoice number 2 is Mr. B, invoice number 3 is Mr. C. Can I generate the single e-way bill? Can I generate the single e-way bill? Answer is no. Can I generate the consolidated e-way bill? Answer is no. You have to generate the separate e-way bill. You have to generate the separate e-way bill. Can I generate the single e-way bill? No. Then what is the concept of consolidated e-way bill? What is the concept of consolidated e-way bill? That is EWB02. Can I do the consolidation of multiple tax invoice in a single? No. Answer is no. Then what is the consolidated e-way bill? It is a only time saving mechanism. Time saving tool for transporter. It is a time saving tool for the transporter. That's it. सुशील मैं 2 बार बता चुका हूं पार्ट बी में सिर्फ व्हीकल नंबर डालना है, नथिंग एल्स. आई हैव टू ऐड द पार्ट बी मोड एंड व्हीकल नंबर. ठीक है Mohammed, we will discuss in the validity period. Mohammed, we will discuss in the validity period. Let me reach to that point. So what is the concept of 15 days? What is the situation of the validity period? So we will discuss what is the situation in which I can extend the time limit. That all permutation can discuss, but just for it some time. So my point is, so what is the concept? It is only time saving tool only for the transport. Sir, not clear. If e-way bill, suppose there are multiple customer has reached to one transporter. There is multiple customer who has reached to one transporter. Okay. All are, let's say, within 50 kilometers, same state from business place to the transporter place. So they have added part A. They have added only part A. They have added only part A. Now the part B would be generated by the transporter. Part B can be generated by the transporter, na? Yes, possible. Part A has been generated by A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. All has reached individual value of the goods is 60,000, 80,000, 1 lakh, any value. More than 50,000 individual consignment value I'm talking about. All are required to generate the E-way bill. But what happened? They have only filled the part A, part B to be generated by the transporter. Is it possible? Sir, abhi to baat kiya, just now we have discussed that it is possible. So now when they reach to the transporter has to open every E-way bill and has to add the vehicle detail in every consignment, every E-way bill. May I repeat karna? Now all the supplier has reached to the transporter with half E-way bill. Now it is the responsibility of the transporter to add the part B, and then only they can move the goods. Then only they can move the goods. So let me repeat once again. All supplier has reached to the transporter with half E-way bill. Possible? Yes, we have discussed. State same 50 kilometer. Within 50 kilometer and from business place to the transporter place. Part B can be ignored. Now the transporter is starting the movement, let's say night. Before starting the movement, he has to add the part B. Otherwise, he can't move the goods. Now, he has to add the part B. Either there is one way that he has to add the part B in every half E-way bill. He has to go and update in everywhere. Or because that is time consuming and possibility of error is there. Second alternative is there. He can simply add one time vehicle number where in EWB02. So EWB02 is another document or called as a consolidated E-way bill, wherein the transporter can select all part A EWB01 and simply put one time the vehicle number, and then he would be allowed to generate the consolidated E-way bill. Sabse bada fayda kya? What is the biggest advantage? He could save the time and reduce the possibility of error. He has to add the part B, obviously. So only one time he will add the part B and he will select all part A. Matter close. Is it clear? Thoda sa tough tha. Is it clear? In part B is only update once. No, multiple time it can. No. Once you assign the transporter, say let's say I'm sending the goods to Mr. A, GTA. Now, if A has entered the GST number, then cannot be moved. Then cannot be assigned. So there is another feature of assignment, Mohammed. Another feature of assignment of E-way bill to the transporter. Otherwise, vehicle number can be updated multiple times. Let's say GTA A is using the vehicle. He can use his vehicle number. Let's say the goods has been delivered from one location to the another location by B. He can use his GST number. But once it will be assigned, there is a separate feature we are talking about, assignment of the E-way bill. Then it cannot be further assigned. Many part A, various suppliers, single part B by the transporter. It is a consolidated E-way bill, sir? Yes. This is only one example, beta. That could be the only one. Mohammed, try to understand. Let me, your point is very correct. Let me try to explain something more. So let's say A is a supplier and he's sending the goods to the, let's say, Gati transporter. Okay. not A, let's name is Arun. Arun is a supplier. He is sending the goods to Gati transporter for the further movement to the let's say Ravi. So what he will do, either he will add part A, part B both, and then send the goods if he knows the part B. Second possibility, he can only add part A, then obviously Gati transporter will add the part B. So he has to use the GST number of Gati transporter. Once he used the GST number, he would be able to add the part B. He would be able to add the part B. Or Arun can assign the entire E-way bill. Assignment is the one feature in the E-way bill portal. So part A and part B both can be added by the Gati transporter. Now, once he added the part and part B, everything, then Arun cannot further assign to another transporter. I'm talking about assignment ka feature. Vehicle can be used. Part B can be updated multiple times. There is no restriction. Here we are talking about the assignment feature. Assignment by supplier or the recipient. That assignment is not possible when any one transporter has added the part B. So ऐसा हुआ ना कि मैंने कुछ भेजा और आपने accept कर लिया, then it cannot be further sold. Something like that. Is that clear? To some more extent, I can say. Now, this is the only rule which is not yet applicable. So I'm skipping this. Now, the details which is added in the E-way bill, it can be used in the GST return, GSTR1. Once E-way bill is generated, then the registered email ID, mobile number, whatever it is being given of the recipient or transporter, it will be message will goes to that. एक बार क्वेश्चन देख लेता हूं मैं. भूमिका, आई थिंक एक ही एग्जांपल है, मतलब you are talking about the example for consolidated E-way bill. That can only be one example. Multiple transporter has reached to the multiple supplier has reached to one transporter with only part A. So he has to add the part B. So either he has to do this process in every single document or he can consolidate and generate. ठीक है ना? चलो, great. Now let me talk about three things. What is the three things? 24 hour, 72 hours, 15 days, 8 hours, 4 thing we will discuss. Okay. Part A has been added. It's done. Send the goods to the transporter without part B. Possible? Yes, possible. What is the maximum time limit to add the part B? 15 days. Part A or part B ka gap maximum it can be 15 days. Fine. Part A and part B both has been added. Now it becomes the valid document for movement of the goods. Part A and part B both has been generated. Within how many period it can be cancelled? 24 hours. But yes, there is only one exception. There is also one exception. If it is being checked in the during the transit by the proper officer, it cannot be cancelled. Part A is added. Part B is not added. How much time is there to add the part B? 15 days. Fine. Part A plus part B both added, then the question of cancellation will come within how many time? 24 hours. Part A, part B both added, then within how many time it can be rejected by the recipient? Delivery or 72 hours, whichever is earlier. Delivery of the goods or 72 hours, whichever is earlier. We will discuss in some time in all detail, but let me give you the brief. What is 8 hours? Before or after validity period, it can be extended within 8 hours. क्या मतलब हुआ? Let's say my e-way bill is going to be expired after 3 hours. Let's say my e-way bill is going to be expired at 11, midnight. My today is the last date of e-way bill, and it is going to be expired by the midnight. I like to extend the e-way bill. Can I? Yes. Within 8 hours, you can extend the e-way bill. Within 8 hours, you can extend the e-way bill. 8 hours even before or even after validity period. Now let's read in all the things in detail. As possible है कि break नहीं होगा. Today there is a last class and I have to complete by 8:30 because of another commitment of mine. So probably we will take a break today. आज हम break नहीं ले पाएंगे, ठीक है? ताकि हम 10 मिनट एक्स्ट्रा पढ़ सकें यार. So let's say the e-way bill has been generated under this rule, but goods are either not transported or not transported as per the details. या तो transport ही नहीं किया या as per detail नहीं किया. तो e-way bill can be cancelled within 24 hours. Proviso says cannot be cancelled if it is verified. ठीक है? Further, that unique number generated on the basis of the part A shall be valid for a period of 15 days for the updation of the part B. Then, what is the validity? We will discuss. We will discuss what is the validity period. But before that, that commissioner can extend the e-way bill, validity of the e-way bill, or transporter may also extend the e-way bill upon exceptional circumstances. Let's say during the COVID, there was a cantonment zone, so the goods cannot be moved. Kerala, flood आ गया, Delhi, flood आ गया, possible नहीं है movement. In that case, yes, transporter can also extend the validity by giving the sufficient reason. Validity of e-way bill may be extended within 8 hours from the expiry. Within 8 hours, either before or after. Now, we will discuss what is the validity period. What is the validity period of e-way bill? एक बार आते हैं हम लोग validity पढ़ते हैं, उसके बाद में आप लोगों के जो भी क्वेश्चन है, I will answer that question. See, the validity period of e-way bill is depending upon distance. Now, Mohammed, I will answer your question after this particular slide. So you asked something 15 days वाला कोई point कुछ पूछा था आपने, right? You have asked one question of the 15 days. I will answer this. I will discuss this slide, then I will answer. Please post your question once again. First, divide whether your cargo is ODC cargo other than ODC or ODC. What is the meaning of ODC? ODC means single indivisible unit. What is the meaning of ODC cargo? The ODC means the cargo carried as a single indivisible unit which exceed the dimensional limit, as per the Motor Vehicle Act. So every motor vehicle will have the maximum dimensional weight which they are allowed to carry. Suppose I need to move one plant and machinery which cannot be dismantled. It has to go in single. It cannot be divided in part because otherwise it is of no use. So when I will put that machine in my truck, then the maximum permissible weight of that truck would be exceeded because of carrying this single indivisible unit. Correct? Now they have divided the cargo in two categories. Why they have divided? Because the validity period is different. In normal cargo, it is 200 kilometer 1 day, and any kilometer beyond 200, one more extra day. Okay? And if it is an ODC cargo, then limit would be 20 kilometer, validity would be 20 kilometer 1 day. So suppose my distance is 4,000 kilometer, then I can say it is valid for 20 days. My distance is, let's say, 201 kilometer. For 200 kilometer, 1 day. For every additional kilometer, 1 more day. So it is valid for 2 days. Okay. Now the question comes, will it be valid from time to time? Let's say today I have generated the E-way bill at 11 a.m. My distance is, let's say, 170 kilometer. I know that today I have generated, it will expire tomorrow. So my point is, tomorrow, will it expire at 11 a.m.? Answer is no. The 1 day means till the midnight of that day. Till the midnight of that day. It means that E-way bill which I have generated today only for 1 day, but 1 day kab khatam hoga? 1 day will expire at the midnight of tomorrow, not at 11 a.m. It will go 11:59 p.m. in the night. I hope it is clear. Over to you for asking any question. कोई क्वेश्चन आप पहले पूछ लीजिए. हमने 8 hours, 15 days, 24 hours, 72 hours. 72 hours हमने नहीं पढ़ा ना. You will read the 72 hours in here, in clause 12, where the person to whom the information has been made available give acceptance or rejection within 72 hours. Made available or the delivery, whichever is earlier. Otherwise, it shall be deemed to be accepted. So now please ask the question. If you have any question, kindly ask the question. Otherwise, we will move to this particular sub-rule 14, where no E-way bill is required. Please ask the question. When no E-way bill is required, that we are going to discuss, but kindly ask the question. Versa, if supplier and the recipient both are unregistered, then what will be the treatment of E-way bill? Supplier and recipient both are unregistered. Okay, then what is that? No E-way bill. See, if you read the rule 138 sub rule 1, it is starting with every registered person has to generate the E-way bill. Additional day part, fine. Suppose my total distance is 200 kilometer, 204 kilometer. So I can say that till 200 kilometer one day, for additional any kilometer, then one extra days. So I can get 2 days. Let's say my cargo is ODC cargo and I am traveling for 55 kilometer. For 20 kilometer one day, additional 20 kilometer one more day, additional 15 kilometer one more day, total 55 kilometer, 3 days ka validity. After the expiry, you can't move the goods. Either within 8 hours or so before expiring, if you think that goods cannot be reached, then your transporter has to extend the E-way bill by putting any genuine reason. He can extend, but once it is expired within 8 hours, if you will not extend the E-way bill validity, then there is always problem, because if the goods in transit will be detained by the officer, he will levy the penalty of section 129. Yes, yes, Bhumika, absolutely correct. 10th ko generate kiya at 11 AM. It will be valid for 2 days. Then it will be expired on 12th August until the midnight. Mohammed, what will do the expiry? You have to make the fresh E-way bill, but you cannot move the goods without having E-way bill. Reason? What is the significance? Significance of one see, because they have fixed the validity period of they fix the valid कि भाई 20 किलोमीटर तक एक दिन है, तो एक्स्ट्रा होगा तो एक दिन एक्स्ट्रा देना पड़ेगा ना. If it is extra, then they have to give the extra na. So that is not be, see how they will give the extra. So if my distance is मान ले 30 kilometer, I'm talking about ODC cargo. I'm talking about the ODC cargo. Let's say distance is 30 kilometer. Will they say the only one day valid? No, sir. 20 kilometer one day. So whatever the kilometer extra till 20, it will have the 1 days. So 20, 20, 20, 20, it will always have the 1 day. Is still confusion? Please explain the 72-hour point. 72 hours means, so suppose I am a supplier, Darshan, you are my customer. Okay? You have the option to reject the E-way bill. Why? Suppose I have to send the goods to, let's say, Varsha. But instead of Varsha, I have put your number, GST number, etc. Now the goods will, in the portal, it will show that you will receive the goods. But you know that it's not belong to me. Or rather, I am sending the goods to you, but you are likely to reject that goods. You don't want that goods. So reject the E-way bill. So rejection ka time period diya hai. It is 72 hours from the date of generation or delivery, whichever is earlier. Mohammed, is it clear? Or anything else you want me to explain? Is it clear, or any other things which I have to explain to clear your doubt? One day may exceed, it means one day may exceed. Varsha, absolutely correct. So suppose in the morning I have generated exactly at 12.01. I have generated 12.01 for, let's say, 5 kilometers. It will be valid for almost 2 days. 1-2 minutes छोड़ दीजिए, almost 2 days. If the distance is up to 200 kilometers, 1 additional day is given, then what will be the ending? Why 1 additional day will be given? Distance के according ही तो extra day मिलेगा ना. If you have the distance is up to 200 kilometers, then only 1 day. Why extra day? If it is exceed 200 kilometers, then 1 extra day would be added in the up to 200 kilometers. Up to next 200 kilometers. अगर डिस्टेंस 200 किलोमीटर है तो एक ही दिन मिलेगा. 200 के ऊपर अगर एक्स्ट्रा किलोमीटर है तो एक एक्स्ट्रा डे मिल जाएगा. अनुज, आपका नाम पहली बार दिख रहा है मेरे को. आई एम नॉट. पहली बार अटेंड कर रहे हैं आप क्लास? यू आर अटेंडिंग फर्स्ट टाइम, इज इट? Now read the situation when E-way bill is not required. First, for this list of the goods given in the annexure: LPG, household, postal baggage, natural culture pearl, jewelry, currency, used personal household effect, coral, incoral, etc. For jewelry, they have excluded one item, except intimation jewelry. Except intimation jewelry. So if it is a not intimation, imitation. I'm so sorry. Imitation जो होता है ना, मतलब कि क्या कहते हैं उसको, एक ज्वेलरी जो एकदम जो लेस कॉस्ट की आती है, जो डुप्लीकेट टाइप की होती है, मतलब एग्जैक्टली वो गोल्ड की नहीं होती या उसकी नहीं होती. सो इमिटेशन ज्वेलरी के लिए आपको ई वे बिल बनाना है. लेट्स से आई एम मूविंग द गुड्स बाय नॉन मोटराइज्ड व्हीकल, लेट्स से बाय कार्ट, बाय साइकिल रिक्शा. E-rickshaw is a motorized vehicle. E-rickshaw is a motorized vehicle, but by rickshaw, only rickshaw, bull cart, by hand, e-way bill is required. Answer is no, because it is non-motorized vehicle. When the goods are being transported from custom, within the custom, from custom port to ICD and container freighters. So within the custom, there is two clauses. No e-way bill is required. This particular clause gives the power to the state. That state has the power for intrastate movement. They can notify any type of the exemption, like based on the value, like based on the kilometer, like based on the locality. Suppose if I talk about the goods in Rajasthan, Rajasthan is saying for district movement, you are not required to generate the e-way bill. Like Delhi is saying 1 lakh, no e-way bill is required. Like Gujarat was saying that for movement to the job worker within the state, no e-way bill. Meaning thereby, the within the state, CGST ka rule is giving the power to the state to fix the requirement as per their own choice. So in the e-way bill, you will find the different provision for intra-state movement of the goods differently state to state. If the goods are exempted, no e-way bill, but except this one item. If the goods are exempted, no e-way bill, except this item. This is a de-oiled cake. They want the movement track. They want to track the movement. If it is a non-taxable supplies, correct. If it is a non-taxable supplies, alcoholic liquor, petrol, diesel, etc., no e-way bill. If it is supply of Schedule 3 item, what is the Schedule 3? Neither supply the goods nor supply of service. No e-way bill. Next, again, from IC. In the earlier clause, we have discussed from custom to ICD. In this clause, they are saying from ICD to the land custom station or custom port, etc. Within the custom, no requirement of e-way bill. Under custom supervision or custom seal, no e-way bill. Transit cargo to the Nepal or Bhutan. Let's say goods are coming from one country and going to Nepal. In between, India is there. क्या मतलब है ट्रांजिट कार्गो का? What is the meaning of transit cargo? क्या मतलब है ट्रांजिट कार्गो का? ट्रांजिट कार्गो means India is a landlocked country. What is the meaning of transit cargo? Let's say goods are being started from Taiwan and goods are going to Nepal. Goods are being started from Afghanistan. Goods are going to Bhutan. By road. In between, the India is being a country. And in whether the movement is started from India? No. Whether the movement is terminated in India? No. It is going to or from either Nepal or Bhutan, because they are Hindi country. So we are having the friendly relation with this country. So they are saying there is no requirement if India is being used as an intermediary country for the transit cargo which goes to Nepal or Bhutan, no e-way bill required. Okay. So for safety purpose, for security purpose, they have relaxed that in these two cases, no e-way bill is required. So these two notification talks about the Air Force movement of the goods, CST to the unit and canteen, and second talk about the Navy player fuels, etc. Ministry of Defense, no e-way bill is required. Government Moving the goods by rail, no e-way bill is required. Empty cargo, no e-way bill is required. And if the goods are going for the weighment purpose, I'm removing the goods from my factory to the weigh bridge. The purpose is weighment, only weighment. Then if it is 20 kilometer supported by the delivery challan, no e-way bill is required. 20 kilometer supported by the delivery challan, no e-way bill is required. Then empty cylinder for packing of the LPG are being moved for reason other than supply, no e-way bill required. Okay. Shall be made available through SMS also. Cancellation, generation, updation, assignment can be made through SMS, mobile also. Now these rules are important. 138A, 138B, 138C, 138D, and 138D. These rules are for e-way bill. So they are saying document and device to be carried by the person in charge. So they are saying a person in charge means driver. Because question, let me handle the question, then we'll move to the mixed alloy jewelry. Schedule 3 ka example. Let's say I'm sending the goods of ICs. I'm sending the goods of custom bonded warehouse. Let's say I'm sending certain goods of नहीं सिर्फ 2 ही आइटम है. Schedule 3 का पैरा 7 पैरा 8 high C sale custom bonded warehouse. In that case there is no requirement of e-way bill. Imitation means duplicate. वो क्या कहते हैं, वो थोड़ा होता ना, not original jewelry. Not original jewelry. It is very less cost. Bhumika, that is the reason. So every state, like Rajasthan, I was talking about, that they are changing the limit for within the state. Delhi are changing the limit for within the state. Bihar is changing the limit for within the state. Gujarat are changing the limit. Why they are allowed to change the limit? Because of that particular power. E-way bill for original jewelry, not imitation means artificial jewelry, right? It's obviously both are new. Both are new. Artificial jewelry. Thank you very much, Aisa. Thank you very much. Artificial jewelry. It is new, but e-way bill का requirement है. New jewelry, e-way bill का requirement नहीं है. Actual jewelry, original jewelry, no e-way bill. Clear है क्या? वर्षा, भूमिका, मोहम्मद, आयसा, all are clear na? All are clear, right? The question which you have raised. आगे बढ़ो. ठीक है. Let's move further. So, rule 138 talks about the person in charge, that is driver. Let's say driver the carrying the goods. Then what is the requirement on him? What is the requirement on him to move the goods along with some document? And what I told you, it can be invoice, it can be bill of supply, it can be challan, okay, or that one device which is called as RFID. Not mandated for all the situation. It has to be notified by the commissioner, but practically not there. But as per the rule, it is there. As per the provision, it is there. Copy of the e-way bill in the physical or e-way bill number in the electronic form. Darshan, you have asked the question whether it is in physical or electronically. Answer is electronic or physically. Any mode is acceptable for e-way bill or mapped to the RFID device. So what is the device? Some radio frequency identification device which is embedded on the conveyance in such manner as may be notified. As of now, it has not been notified for every state. Okay. Now, in case of the import of the goods, they are saying that bill of entry should be given. Which document you will use for movement of the goods? Bill of entry. In case the invoice is issued in the manner 48(4), matlab e-invoice. In case of e-invoice, you may produce invoice electronically for verification of the proper officer in lieu of the physical copy of the tax invoice. So clear hai? Let me repeat once again. Movement of the goods by rail or by road, then clause B will not be applicable. Why it is not applicable? We have understood that in case of the rail, air and vessel, the goods movement by rail, by air, by vessel, the delivery, so the e-way bill can be generated even after the movement, not necessarily before. That is why they are saying it is not applicable. Let me repeat once again. क्या क्या document हो सकते हैं? It can be the tax invoice, it can be delivery challan, it can be bill of supply, it can be bill of entry, plus e-way bill. And when invoice ka hard copy is not required, if it is e-invoice. Where the registered person upload the invoice, then it will be auto-populated on the basis of the INV1. Meaning thereby, in case of e-invoice, he will generate through, he will generate the QR code and IRN through government portal. Correct. Once that particular taxpayer generating the INV1, after invoice, he will generate the e-way bill. So all the information from INV1 will come to the e-way bill portal. Okay. Commissioner may by notification require the class of the transporter to obtain the RFID device. Nothing contained, that is okay. Okay. 138B, which talks about verification. So commissioner or any officer authorized the proper officer to intercept any conveyance for what purpose? To verify the e-way bill in physical or electronic for all inter and intra. Now, the commissioner or any officer empowered by him can authorize the proper officer to intercept. So what they will do? They will be on the in transit and they will stop any conveyance. They will tell to the driver, kindly provide the e-way bill, kindly provide the invoice number or invoice ka detail, something. Okay. These are the correct. They can do the verification. Now the inspection. So first is verification of the document and conveyance. Now the verification of goods. यहाँ पे किसका verification था? Document and conveyance का. यहाँ पे verification किसका? Goods का verification. Now they have the power to verify and inspect the goods, and finally they will generate the reports. Who? Proper officer. EWB03 is the reports. Part A in 24 hours. Part B in 3 days. 3 plus 3. 3 days and 3 more days can be extended. Now 138B. Facility for uploading the information regarding the detention of the vehicle. If the vehicle is being detained and it is more than 30 minutes. If the vehicle is being detained and it is more than 30 minutes, then conveyance, the vehicle has been detained for a period of exceeding 30 minutes, the transporter may upload EWB04 on the common portal. So only the information. So which would be helpful in case the e-way bill is expired or some other purpose. Most important thing is rule 138E. Vishwanath Reddy. What if walk-in customer purchase goods in outlet more than 50,000 invoice value and carried by customer themselves to home? Example, mobile phone merchandise. Go back, rule 138.14, clause A, which talks about connection. They have used the word used personal or household. Now, question is very good. Question is very good. Now, the point is I have purchased the new mobile, not the used personal. So let me go back. This is a practical point. So I will give the reply as a practically. 138E we will discuss at last. Sir, they have used the word used. They have mentioned the word used personal and household effect. visited any outlet or any mobile shop and I have purchased the iPhone worth of rupees 1 lakh. Do I need to generate the e-way bill? The answer would be no. The question comes, why no? Because even new mobile would be called as used personal and household effect. Why I am saying so? I'm giving you the practical insight only. There was even Kerala High Court judgment. Multiple judgments are there. So when you purchase anything for personal purpose, when you purchase any item for personal and use purpose, not for business purpose, in that case, once you will generate the invoice, once the supply will generate the invoice in my name, risk and reward will be transferred to it will be treated as used personal. It is not treated as new. New doesn't mean that it is not unpacked or it is unpacked, so it is a new. No. It is only things who is purchasing. Suppose I am purchasing for my personal purpose, no e-way bill is required. Because it will be covered by the clause. There are multiple judgment. I am giving you one judgment of the Kerala High Court. Okay, Mohammed K is asking, see, your question, Mohammed, your question is sub-rule 7, which is not effective. Your question is sub-rule 7, rule 138, sub-rule 7, not yet effective. So as of now, I can say there is no responsibility. There is no responsibility on the transporter because 138 sub-rule 7 is not yet notified. The day when it is notified, it is applicable. No need to generate the e-way bill for the Vishwanath Reddy and Mohammed K. I hope your question is clear. Your question is answered. Kindly confirm. What is 138E? What is 138E? E is saying restriction on furnishing the information in the part A. Restriction on furnishing the information in the part A of EWB01. मतलब आप ई-वे बिल के लिए, ई-वे बिल बनाने के लिए पार्ट ए में इंफॉर्मेशन ऐड कर नहीं सकते. कब? When you are not allowed to add the part A information in the part A. एक मिनट दीजिएगा. When you are not allowed to add the information in the part A, they are saying that notwithstanding anything contained, no person shall be allowed to furnish the information and point to be noted. They are using the word outward. They are using the word outward. Exam में ध्यान रखना. Maybe there may be the short question. They are not restricting the purchase of defaulter. Default we will talk about. So the person who has not generated the GSTR1 or not filed the GSTR1, not filed the CMP08, not filed the GSTR3B, we will discuss. The person who is a defaulter cannot generate the e-way bill for the sale, but that defaulter is allowed to make the purchase. That defaulter is allowed to make the purchase. There is no problem. There is no restriction. The restriction is only for the outward supply. ये बात क्लियर है क्या? बहुत important line है, इसीलिए पूछ रहा हूँ. It is very, very important. That is the reason I'm asking to confirm that is it clear that outward supply is being restricted, not the inward supply. एक बार ये confirm करो, then we'll move. Now, what could be the reason? First, if you are registered as a composition dealer, okay. If you are registered as a composition dealer, not filed the CMP-08 for the 2 consecutive quarter. We all know that composition dealer has to pay the tax on quarterly basis. Has not furnished the return for the consecutive period of 2 tax period or 2 months. Okay. It means has not furnished the consecutive period. GSTR 3B has not been furnished for the 2 tax period. Then third is, we will read the proviso. Let me read first the third point. The person who has not furnished the GSTR 1 for 2 months or 2 quarters, the registration has been suspended. 4 mistake. Supplier who is registered as a composition levy not paid the taxes in the CMP-08 for 2 quarters or not furnished the CMP-08. GSTR 1 not furnished for the 2 months or 2 quarters. GSTR 3B not furnished for the 2 months or 2 quarters. Registration number is suspended in all the 4 cases. Outward supply cannot be, he cannot use his detail in the part A for the outward supply. But if he is purchasing, his detail can be added by another person in the part A. Let's read the proviso. If means the provided that commissioner can allow, if the e-way bill is blocked, then commissioner has the power to unblock. Okay, on sufficient cause being so. No order rejecting that request opportunity, the reasonable opportunity they being. So that is a natural justice. Okay. So whenever you are giving the any order which is adversely affecting the taxpayer, then you should give sufficient time to listen. Okay. Once commissioner of the state tax allow that particular permission, then it will be deemed that it is being allowed by the CGST officer also. So for COVID period, they have given certain relaxation. Let's move further. Okay. So the tax invoice or the bill of supply to accompany the transport of the document, Rule 55A says that person in charge of the conveyance shall carry the copy of tax invoice or the bill of the supply issued in the provision of Rule 46, 46A and 49 in the case where the person is not required to carry an e-way bill under these rules. So these documents become mandatory. Now, this is the last point which I have to explain. E-way bill for bill to ship to model. What is the bill to ship to model? Anybody knows what is the bill to ship to model? किसी को मालूम है bill to ship to model क्या होता है? How one become defaulter? Because non-filing of the return. Because of the non-filing of the return. So what is the difference between 2 tax period? See, 2 tax period means it either I am monthly taxpayer or I am a QRMP taxpayer. Correct? You know, Priyanka, we have discussed in detail. So if I am monthly taxpayer, then 2 month, 2 tax period means whatever the tax period which is applicable. For monthly taxpayer, it is 1 month as a 1 tax period. For QRMP taxpayer, 2 tax period means 2 quarter. Clear? Any idea about bill to ship to model? That is my question. And this would be the last, and then we can start our quick round of the question answer. So, can you tell me what is the bill to ship to model? So let me explain. क्या एक्सप्लेन कर रहा हूं मैं? What is bill to ship to model? Oh my god, where person 1 asked person 2 student writing to person 3. Very nice. We discussed bill to ship to model as an exception on the condition of the receipt. Wow, very nice. Excellent. Yes. No idea. कोई दिक्कत नहीं. Ship to means where the delay of the goods. Bhumika, Kavita, etc. Right, absolutely correct. You all have given the right answer. Now, the bill to ship to, let's say A from Delhi. Normally, he has the customer in Mumbai, B. Give me the answer. You should be active for next 10 minutes. You should be active to complete this particular point. A is a supplier, B is a customer. A send the goods to B. How many tax invoice would be there? How many tax invoice would be there? 1 or 2? Give me the answer. How many tax invoice would be there? 1 or 2? When A is sending the goods to B, how many tax invoice would be there? Only 1 tax invoice. How many e-way bill would be there? Sir, 1 e-way bill. How many e-way bill would be there? Only 1 e-way bill. Only 1 e-way bill. Please complete the e-way bill. Now let me open that e-way bill. एक मिनट दीजिएगा मुझे. When this A located in Delhi generate the e-way bill for sending the goods to Mumbai, bill from will be, किसका नाम आएगा यहां पर? A और B. Bill from will be A or B. Give me the answer. Bill from में किसका नाम आएगा? A की B? In the bill from, whose name will come? A or B? The answer is very correct. Very correct. A will come. In the bill to whose name will come? In the bill to whose name will come? In the bill to whose name will come? Bill to में किसका नाम आएगा? In the bill to whose name will come? A or B? The answer would be B. Once you will enter the A का GST number, automatically it will by default give the address of Delhi. Let's say it is ITO. Now I'm using one place that is ITO in Delhi. When I will put the GST number of B, automatically the Mumbai address will come. It is a regular transaction. Point to be noted, the transaction type will be regular. Transaction type will be regular. Now, let's say I'm changing the scenario. This time, A, B, and B has another customer C. Let's say C has given the order of 1000 laptop. B received the order from C for 1000 laptop. In turn, he has given the order to A. C is from Delhi and let's say location is Chandni Chowk. And A is from Delhi and address is ITO, Income Tax Office. B is from Mumbai. Now, kindly quickly give me the answer for certain question. A will raise the bill to whom? A will raise the bill to whom? A bill किसको raise करेगा? A bill किसको raise करेगा? A will raise the bill to whom? A will raise the bill to whom? Answer is B. Absolutely correct. Now tell me, A will send the goods to B or it will goes to directly C. Whether the goods will be moved to Mumbai first and then Mumbai to Delhi, or the goods will be directly moved from A to C. Movement की बात कर रहा हूं. Now I am talking about movement. Now I am talking about movement. Will the goods be moved from A to B and B to C, or the goods will be moved directly from A to C? Please tell me how the movement would be. Will A to B then B to C, or from A to C directly? Answer is correct. It will be directly. This system is called as bill to ship to model. When A is raising the bill to Mr. B and he's delivering to another party. When bill is being raised to party B and it is shipped to party C as per the direction of customer. Okay. Then it is called as bill to ship to model. So in the bill to ship to model, please tell me how many invoice would be there, 1 or 2, or also tell me how many time movement would be there, 1 or 2. This is my 2 question. In the bill to ship to model, how many number of invoice would be there, 1 or 2? In case of the bill to ship to model, how many time movement would be there, 1 or 2? कितनी बार गुड्स में मूवमेंट होगा और कितने नंबर ऑफ इनवॉइस होंगे? In case of the bill to ship to model, the movement would be 1. The movement would be 1 from A to C. This is movement. So the movement would be 1. How many invoice would be there? Because A will raise the invoice to B. B will raise the invoice to C. So there will be 2 tax invoice. Now let me go to the portal. So this is the screenshot of the E-way bill. So when I am generating the E-way bill for the bill to ship to model, let's say A is raising the invoice to B, and on that basis, he is generating the E-way bill. What he will do? He will select the bill to ship to model. He will select the bill to ship to model. Please tell me, bill to would be B or C? बिल टू क्या होगा इस केस में, बी और सी? बिल टू वुड बी बी और सी. In the invoice number 1, which is being raised by A to B, So the invoice number 1 which we are using for generating the E-way bill, it will have the customer name as B. So by default, which address will come? Once I will enter the GST number of B, which address will come by default? As per the portal, which address will come by default when I will enter the GST number of B? You will say the Mumbai address will come by default, sir. Mumbai address will come by default, right? Now, from regular, you have to put bill to ship to model, delete the Mumbai, and you will enter the Delhi Chandni Chowk. Why Delhi Chandni Chowk? Because this bill from and bill to will tell you the goods is being sold by which party to which party. This will tell you the actual movement of the goods. This model is called as bill to ship to. Is it clear? एक बार confirm करना. Is it clear? Is it clear to all? एक बार confirm करें. From my side, this chapter is completed. But एक बार confirm करें. Is it clear to all? Is it clear to all? एक बार confirm करें. Or any question you may ask. From my side, this chapter is completed. Last 10 minutes is for quick round of the question answer. Thank God that I have not taken the break. Otherwise, I would not be able to complete the discussion as usual, which we are doing. ठीक है. So fine. Shall we start? We can issue the any party, either A or B or C can issue the E-way bill. If B is issuing the E-way bill, B can use the document number 1 also, and he can use the document number 2 also. GST number would be of B or C? B. Yes, sir. Invoice number. Yes, sir. It's clear. ठीक है. Let me start the question answer. आज तो 15 मिनट मिल जाएगा हमको. We have the 15 minutes. What if D is a multiple person? You can add 3, 4, 5, 6, because the goods you will generate the E-way bill on the basis of one invoice. See, let's say Bhumika is asking very good question that let's say there is one more party, that is D. Then how we will make the same process? Let's say A is using the tax invoice number 1 to generate the E-way bill. Bill from A, bill to B. Now let's say goods is going to D at Chennai. So what he will select? He will select bill to ship to model. In that case, the ultimate location is Chennai. So he will put the address of the Chennai. Chennai ka GST number nahi dalna hai. I have to give only the address where A has to deliver the goods. That's it. I hope it is clear, Bhumika and all. ठीक है ना? ठीक है. So let in case of the jewelry, when the E-way bill would be required, when E-way bill is not exempted, कौन सी jewelry के केस में E-way bill exempted नहीं है? Which jewelry E-way bill is not exempted? The right answer is imitation jewelry. The right answer is imitation jewelry. Question number 2. If the customer is less, if supplier to customer distance is less than 20 kilometers, supplier is not required to generate the E-way bill. Is it correct statement or not correct? Is it correct or wrong? A to B, A is a supplier, B is a customer, distance is less than 20 kilometers. We can say no E-way bill is required for supply of this goods by A to B because distance is less than 20 kilometers. Statement is correct or not correct? Answer to this question, whether statement is correct or not correct. Whether statement is correct or not correct. Answer to this question is incorrect. It is not correct. Now you tell me, counter question to all of you, then what is the relaxation for 20 kilometer? What is the relaxation for 20 kilometer? When this relaxation is there? 20 किलोमीटर का रिलैक्सेशन कब है? If A is sending the goods to B, A is a supplier, B is a customer. You all are correct that my statement is wrong. Fully agree. No relaxation. So my counter question to you, we had discussed the relaxation of 20 kilometers. What was that? We had the discussion of relaxation of 20 kilometers. What was that? वो क्या था? What was that? What was that? 20 kilometer का relaxation. What was that? The answer is that 20 kilometer ka relaxation is for payment. No one has given the right answer. For way bridge from your location to the way bridge for the payment purpose, 20 kilometer. No e-way bill. But in that case, movement should be supported by one document. Can you please tell me the which document? 20 kilometer if it is way bridge from factory to the payment purpose for way bridge to way bridge it is going. Now my question to all of you that it should be supported by one document. What is the name of the document? कौन सा document लगाना मुझे? For payment I am sending the goods. No e-way bill चलेगा, no problem. But what is the document which I have to give, which I have to add, which I have to support? This movement. The right answer is delivery challan. Thank you so much. The right answer is delivery challan. In case one minute. What is the 24 hours? We have discussed one time that 24 hours. What was that? We have discussed one time 24 hours. What is that? Is it for rejection? Is it for cancellation? Is it for updation of part B or what was that? Answer is for cancellation. Answer is for cancellation. For cancellation. What is the time limit for extension? 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 The answer to my first question, 24 hours, is for cancellation. Is for cancellation. Now my second question, what is the time limit for extension? The 8 hours from the validity. 8 hours. 8 hours. Absolutely correct. Listen my question carefully. We all know that validity is divided upon if the cargo is that one or those one. We all know that the validity is depending upon the cargo. We have used one technical name, single indivisible unit. Can you please tell me what was the nature, what was the name of that cargo? Single indivisible unit. What was the name of that cargo? What was the name of that cargo? What was the name of that cargo? Thank you so much. It is ODC, over dimensional cargo. Can you please tell me? Can you please tell me that when the cancellation of E-way bill is not permissible? When the cancellation of E-way bill is not permissible, can you please tell me when the cancellation of E-way bill is not permissible within 24 hours? Can you please tell me when the cancellation of E-way bill is not permissible within 24 hours? Can you please tell me when the cancellation of E-way bill is not permissible within 24 hours? The answer is if it is verified by the proper officer during the transit. One device ka name we have discussed in the class that there is device. What is the name? What is the name of that device? Can you please tell me what is the name of that device? एक डिवाइस का नाम हमने पढ़ा था. Can you please tell me what is the name of that device? The right answer is RFID, radio frequency identification device. Correct. You cannot add the details in the part A if the supplier is defaulter. Can anybody tell me any two default? Any two default. Then I am not eligible to generate the E-way bill. Any two default. We have discussed total 4 default. Any two default, please let me know. Rule 138E, in which I am restricting, I am not allowed to generate the part A of E-way bill to situation. Please tell me the two default I can say. The answer is GSTR1, GSTR3B for 2 months or 2 quarter, right? Paying the tax under section 10 for 2 tax period, not 2 months. Kavita, the 2 tax period in case of section 10, it is 2 quarter, not 2 months. CMP8, that is CMP8, correct, absolutely correct. All are correct. Or suspension. Okay. In case of the reverse charge mechanism, recipient is required to make the payment voucher when? Option number 1, if the supplier is unregistered. Option number 2, if the supplier is registered. Option number 1, supplier is unregistered. Option number 2, supplier is registered. Option number 3, in both the cases. Next question. In case of the reverse charge mechanism, the recipient is liable to make the payment voucher when the supplier is unregistered, when the supplier is registered, or in both the cases. In both the cases, supplier is unregistered or supplier is registered. I am talking about the payment voucher. I'm talking about the payment voucher. I'm talking about the payment voucher. The right answer is a payment voucher would be applicable in both the cases. Would be applicable in both the cases. Would be applicable in both the cases. So what is the name of the document? Now you tell me the name of the document which is applicable on RCM transaction when the supplier is unregistered. मुझे वो डॉक्यूमेंट का नाम बताइए जहां पर आरसीएम के ट्रांजैक्शन पे रिसिपिएंट को बनाना होगा if the supplier is unregistered. What is the name of the document? Right answer is self-invoice. Next question to all of you, and this would be the last question. What is the time limit to make the invoice for supply of the service by Airtel? What is the last date to issue the, or what is the time limit to issue the tax invoice by telecom operator for the supply of the services? What is the name of the document by telecom operator for supply of services? What is the time limit to make the invoice by the telecom operator? Is it 30 days? Is it 45 days? Is it, what is that? Or is it 1 quarter? What is the right answer? I don't know. So the right answer is 30 days in case of the telecom operator. From my side, this class is completed. Over to you. I'm requesting every member to connect in social media LinkedIn profile so that when you clear your exam, you inform me. I will feel very proud. विश्वास नहीं करोगे आप, मैं बहुत proud feel करूंगा if you will inform when you clear your exam through LinkedIn also. Through LinkedIn, that is sufficient. Because we are connected through online, we don't have the connection to each other. I request everyone to connect on social media with me, CA Arun Chajed, and inform. It is your responsibility. It is your duty to inform when you clear your exams. So thank you very much. Supplier and recipient, who will fill the part A? Supplier and recipient unregistered and transfer. No one will fill part A. No requirement of E-way bill if both parties is unregistered. If the movement is between unregistered or unregistered, in my view, Rule 138 sub rule 1 will not trigger, which start with every registered person. It will not trigger in my view. ITC का chapter का 17.5 का clause D बता दीजिए please. Divyanshi, the clause D which talks about if suppose I'm giving you example, I'm constructing my factory. So I have purchased the iron rod, I have purchased the cement, I have purchased the bricks, and I have also taken the individual labor. I am purchasing the goods and services, and then I'm constructing immovable property. In that case, I cannot take the ITC of these individual goods and labor charges. Up to 20 kilometer raise something said where it is Rule 138 sub Rule 14. In the exemption, we will discuss the second last clause. Second last clause. Can we ask your query to you after the class? How? If you have any query like to discuss with me, please mail to the ICAI. In turn, I will receive the mail. I will discuss and will share my view. Thank you so much, Darshan, for your positive, and definitely I would expect from each and everyone the positive result and communication of that result to me through social media only. That is only possible way. So I only request to add me in your network, social media network, LinkedIn. The purpose is only being a teacher. I should get informed. I should have the information whenever you succeed in your career, when you means grow in your career. Thank you so much. Goodbye to all of you, and definitely we'll meet. Manish ji, class